All right, everyone. Welcome back to this week's PRL Week in Review for CotA. I am driver number 3, Cameron Hart.
And driver the number 29, James Jackson.
Well, little 1-2 at CotA for GLM.
Yep, yep. And, like I said last week, I didn't pick Griffin because I didn't know if he was going to make the show or not. And boy, did he.
Yeah. Oh, he made it. Bet you were wishing he wasn't. Or he
I,
didn't.
I told him as much, too. Now, you know, listen, we talk about how I hadn't lost one of those, but, um, I was never dominant in either of them, just there when it worked out for me. So, I led almost as much Monday night as I had led in the other two races, and you know, Griff took
Mm.
care of his stuff a little better than me at the end, and was able to get back by me.
Yep, I think I'd be interested to see what all of ours tire percentages was after that last run because I know I was not even paying attention to it, trying to catch up to you guys. To be honest, I'm just glad I was even had a shot there at the end. As bad as you'll find out that I screwed up that last pit stop, or at least the out lap, but so it'll be close, but not quite where I needed to be there. But
Yeah,
I
no,
ended up at least not wrecking out, which is what I needed. Some improvement on Watkins Glen, at least from last season.
yeah, I could have used you and Griffin having a little tangle like you did at Watkins Glen. That would have been okay. But no, I really proud of both of us, and even Jim qualifying eighth, start finishing eighth.
Yeah,
Kept it clean between the lines, like we hoped. But you know, the three of us qualified top three. You, me, and Cameron, and we finished top three. So, or you and me and Griffin, obviously. Started and finished top three, just a little different order. Um, but that made me look good.
yeah,
Even Miguel with my pick finishing fourth. So, but that was a fun race, despite not pulling off the win. And the track and car combo continues to be a blast.
yeah. I mean, I think I was a little nervous to see how it would go in on old tires, given battling and stuff like that. And I mean, that first run, I mean, I was taking care of the tires, and I felt like we were able to kind of battle a little bit and still not have much of an issue. I know there wasn't much battling there. It was single file for the most part, at least between you, me, and Griffin. Um, but I mean, it wasn't too bad that first run. That second run, we just all going for the win and
Yeah,
just slipping and sliding everywhere. Wheel hopping through every other corner, and yeah, it was tough that last run, but I definitely felt it at the end. I fell off a little bit, but yeah, without further ado, I think we can probably get into it without talking too much about it now.
yeah, no, for sure. And we'll get in. We'll see it. There's not a whole lot of passing zones without somebody messing up. So, just kind of trying to put yourself in position for that driver in front to slip off and open the door for you. But yeah, like you said, without further ado, we'll get into race review. And you wanted to, why weirdly enough, you wanted to cover qualifying.
I promise it wasn't just because I wanted this season. Um, just FYI, you're on the wrong screen
Oh, I am. You're
on
right.
OBS.
You're
Yep,
right.
there we go. Yep,
Rewind.
been meaning to cover these for a couple weeks now, but just been forgetting. So I not gonna lie, a little bit of it was like I think yeah we should cover it this week, but I was like not to see him too uh too selfish about it. I'll just cover it, but
Sure.
yeah, I think the qualifying laps I think for me was from practice to qualifying. I think maybe a little bit more or a little bit hotter than I practiced all week. I think if I had done, if it was probably a little bit colder in my practice sessions, like if it was colder than this, I probably would have been able to run about a second faster. But that heat just affects everything with the how slick this track is.
Yeah, and you had to be a little bit careful on the tires on that first lap. I thought, like, I figured going into it, my second lap would be my fast one, and I think it was. Um, but you know, you mentioned the heat. Griffin and I both in testing got under a 142, um, and we were both 143s in qualifying. So it was interesting to see all the different lines, especially like through 16 there. Who went wide? Griffin was somebody who almost never went wide through 16.
Yeah, and I think that there's some value in that, and I think you'll see it later in the race. Just he's able to not have quite as much rear fall off as at least I did, um, just from not being as fast and not relying on the rear tires through those corners. Because I know with some of those I was slipping and sliding through them sometimes, or so. Even if it didn't quite look or feel like I was, it definitely was had a little bit of rear tire spin at points, and it came to bite me at a certain point.
Yeah, just being able to put not as much stress on the fronts for him, that was a big deal. But as you see there, 142.58 for Cam, good enough for the pole. You can look at qualifying results. You beat me by almost 7 tenths. Beat Griffin by a second. Miguel by 2. Um, but yeah,
Yep, but I mean, despite those times, I mean, if we the race, fastest laps for each person in the race. I mean, everybody got better during the race and was pretty close. Not at least not as far apart as we were during qualifying, which is to be expected.
yeah. I mean, I know it's some guys like my dad only got 1 lap because of off tracks or slipping or whatever across the course of those laps, and it's so easy to do to just put 2 tires off and get that off track through the S's and throw that lap away completely. So
Yep.
something that got me was just how late this start zone was on the initial start. I would have thought it was like right through here.
Yeah, because I thought that that was the start zone, so I kind of figured that right where that DRS sign was is where it would be. But I mean, I was ready to clear everybody's blacks because I think we were going about 15 miles an hour faster by the time the green actually came out.
Yeah.
But somehow it didn't give us the black flag. Um,
And then
luckily,
the other aspect of that is because of how far back it was, I was expecting a first gear start, and look at the tail whips out of that 29.
yep. And I think that I wanted to see it because it just caused Griffin to slow up a little bit to not really affect you as much. Let's see, somebody, I think it's Hunter Smith in the 22 throws a 3 wide.
No, it's Kyle Jackson in the 49,
Oh, 49. Okay. Yep.
but the old Ward Burton throwback, which was nice. But um, yeah, I mean this turn one at CotA. It just gets congested.
Yep. That's why I was happy to be able to get free there and just kind of be able to run my own line. That was my main goal. I didn't want somebody to accidentally lock it up and take me out or something. Not that I thought Griffin would do that, but who knows what might happen there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a sketchy corner with a. Ooh. Oh. Okay. There we go. Um,
Oh, yeah. Pardon.
I knew somebody did, but I didn't know who or what. Ellis locks it up into 7, which surprised there wasn't more problems here, but a little help from Ed.
Yep. Don't look like too terrible damage, so we're able to continue on. And I think it comes back to bite me more in the second run just because I'm trying a little bit harder. But just looking at how wide I'm taking the entry into these corners compared to you and Griffin taking a little bit more shallow, I think ends up hurting my rear tires a lot more too, just in the drive off and just turning the car a little bit more, using more wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I think between you having the fastest lap, you having pole, leading a bunch of laps, and then me and Griffin each leading a handful of laps, um, and all three of us being really competitive. I think it shows that there's multiple ways to run this track, um, and it would have been interesting if you had a clean out lap. What kind of grouping we would have had at the end?
Yeah, and I mean, I came out of the pits behind Griffin, so I would have come out in front of you, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know what ends up changing there. Um, I think that definitely, I mean, it shows in this first round the way that I take it, it's fine just for holding you off, I think, if I'm in the lead to do this line. But through that second run, it might partially be just me catching up, but struggled a little bit in terms of just keeping up while also trying
I'm
to
so sorry. I didn't mean to punt you.
find an opportunity to pass.
There were opportunities to pass were few and far between in this one.
Absolutely. Yep. Needed a little bit of help. I know that you, we'll see later, got a little bit of help with me just trying to avoid a lap car. Um, and then later in the race, just some mistakes. But other than that, not a whole lot of passing, at least among us three at the front. Um, Not sure how much more passing there was a little bit further back in the field. I know for Ed and Brandon, it was a little bit more frustrating just trying to navigate getting through traffic and stuff like that. So I don't think it was much different no matter where you were on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, I know we both caught lap traffic at horrible times. Uh, the worst, I think, is trying to get somebody into seven, where that tire pack is, because it's just so tight, so narrow, and you can lose so much time through there. I know we caught Brandon, and I was scared to death he was gonna slide in between us, and I'd lose a second to you or something like that, just in that little quick short shoot. But
Yep, definitely wasn't expecting to catch Brandon there. It's just the track is a little optical illusions with that in terms of not quite knowing exactly where you're gonna catch somebody with all like this section of the track being so slow. Looking like you're right on somebody, and then you get down the front stretch and through the S's, and you see exactly how far that gap is.
yeah, you look at the delta, and you're like, oh, there's no way I'm 2 seconds behind as I'm, you know, seeing or as we're going through those turns at the same point, and then you get out of it and step away. But you can jump ahead a little bit here.
Yep, I believe at least up at the front, don't get much happening until we start catching lap traffic. I was feeling so good about myself when I saw that gap starting to expand, and then didn't want to. I was yeah you, sorry, yeah excuse me. You found something at some point because I didn't feel like I was running any slower, but you were able to come right back to me.
I noticed you were like not touching curbs in the S's.
Part of that's I just didn't. I felt that when I used them sometimes when I felt like I needed a little bit more time, but they caused my car to get very loose and slippy and sliding around through there, and I just didn't want to use up all my rears trying to using that to gain time. While I felt like it would just in the long run be more detrimental to the rear tires, but I mean, as we discussed with, or as we'll see with you, I mean, I don't think that it ended up being as big of a deal as it might have been, and I could have just been using um, more tire overall, just for having to not having that help from the using the curbs to turn the car and rotate it.
Yeah, I wonder how much more wheel input you had to put in, how much more stress on the fronts you put on it. Um, you definitely had to go a little bit slower to not hit the curbs, but the risk reward, though, I mean, obviously you were fine to stay in the lead in doing it, and if you were to go off and get a one something second time penalty, that would have been a problem. So
Yeah,
again,
and I mean,
multiple ways to run this.
yeah, and I mean, if it was just, I think that it is the right thing to do if I'm just racing you here, with the strategies that we're on. But as we'll see as we get later into the run, I think that just running a little bit slower like that, um, Griffin was just running some blazing laps at the end of this run, and so he was able to just pull right up to us. And looking back now, I probably try to go a little bit harder that first run just to keep him back, so that way he can't quite get that undercut that he got, at least on me, because my number was 24 and I was glad to get it. But running slower laps and then just having to save a little bit of fuel there at the end of the run didn't help.
Yeah, I just want to point out how far back Griffin is from us there. I mean, we're coming through the S's. We're hitting that last S, and he is just now coming into screen. He's 12 and a half seconds back. And, I'm feeling good about that. And
Absolutely, I was too. I was like, okay, cool. It's just going to be me and James battle for the win here. We can figure this out. And that's pretty straightforward. Just got to beat him straight up. Um, but yeah, he comes all the way back into this thing, storms his way back, and pretty quickly too. I mean, he did it in like 5 or 6 laps.
yeah, it certainly felt like it. He was, we catch some lap traffic, and you and I get to battling a little bit, and it really slows us down. And him in clean air, he's able to run 45s to our 47s, and he just clicks off 2 seconds a lap. Ooh, little tail whip from you. I was cheering you on, wanting you to use those tires up.
Yep, and it was one thing that I'm happy about this first run is the something I've been working on with CotA. It's just been running my own race and not really worrying about what's happening around me. And so I think that at least I personally saw that was just kind of letting you run your race and get to me and not letting it affect how I ran my race, for the most part, except for one time I had to throw it in deep into turn one to try to keep first place. But other than that, I think I really did that well for my own analysis of my race.
Yeah, I was definitely like between how I got the lead from you with Kyle having his issue in front of us on that front stretch, and with it being so early in the race, I wasn't gonna try and outbreak you into one just for and potentially throw something away. So uh, knew I'd settle in and get back to your rear and try and get back by you. But again, passing and track position was at a premium for the entirety of this thing. So
Yeah, and I kind of figured as much, just kind of watching the couple of times that you got really close. I'm like, I don't know any place that he can really pass me without using the bumper, which is all fair and games NASCAR. But so I kind of knew, knowing that I didn't want to let out the lead if I could help it. Um, and so part of where I was trying to fight there, but um, same mindset of you. I wasn't gonna throw it into the point that I was gonna go completely wide on you, but I was definitely trying to outbreak you a little bit there.
yeah, I think I might have gone like 20 something feet deeper than I wanted to, but I wasn't gonna push it any further than that. You know, I wanted the lead, but I also didn't want to either cook my tires completely or get into trouble with you. And here
There it
is
is.
the moment.
Yep, I saw him go wide, and I wasn't sure where if he was going to try to cut right back onto the track or if he obviously stayed in the grass, but didn't want to cause any issues there, and so lost a lot of time off the corner. Yeah, I mean, the I braked. I couldn't tell you exactly how far deeper I braked. It was definitely further than I normally did, but it was more so I just relied more on the engine brake than I did the entire rest of the race. Because I knew from my testing that you could push it, but it was more risky in terms of wheel hopping and stuff like that. I think you'll see me do more so at the end of this run and the second half of the race. And I just didn't feel like that was a risk I wanted to make the rest of the race. But right there, I felt like even if I did wheel hop there, I would be. And you also tried to throw it on the outside there. I thought I would be able to still slow it down with the wheel hop. But I just might have had to concede the position. But I felt like I was going to concede it. It was either concede it or a chance of conceding the position, so I took the chance.
Yeah, and then you wheel hopped a little bit into 9 there, and uh, I followed you a little deeper than I wanted to again, and so you're able to maintain.
Yep, a couple times definitely saved me when I would go wide. And I think I'd start looking at my mirror trying to figure out if I need to defend or anything against you. And then I'd just see you going wide too, and so saved me a couple times.
This was a close one here, 16 and 17.
Yep,
Oof.
I just had to follow my line. Unfortunately, that forced Edward down onto the track. I think he was trying to give us the inside, but um, just an awkward spot to
Yeah, no, for sure.
catch him.
He's definitely trying to, like, you can see him. He thinks you're gonna undercut him, so he goes wide, catches that, goes low, and that's where I'm at. And eventually we both get through it. No,
Yep.
none the worse, but
Yep, lucky for you, you got through it pretty decently. I was hoping it would slow you down a little bit more than that, but it didn't really slow you down that much at all. Maybe bought me a couple extra tenths, but nothing crazy.
and as we battle, Griffin is now down to 11 seconds back.
And Miguel, just saw your question. The All Star race is not a points paying race.
Jump ahead a couple more laps.
We'll get Griffin getting to us here soon.
Sun
Then
coming
Griffin,
out.
I knew as soon as the sun came out, I got on the radio to um, Ed and Brandon. I let them know that it was going to get real slick, just because I knew that they didn't got limited practice, and so I wanted to make sure they knew at least. But luckily, it didn't think it slowed me down too much. Um, just being a little bit more cautious.
I was welcoming the sun. I knew you had already slid your rears a little bit, and I knew that the heightened track temp would open you up, make you more susceptible to that. But as you go a little wide there in 9. But yeah, no, it was tough sledding to get past you without trying to move you, and I wasn't trying to do that in the first 20 laps and open myself up to some retaliation or something later.
Yeah, I'm not going to outright wreck you in any situation like that, but
No, yeah, but like it's
I'd
one of
get back
those
to you and move you.
it's one of those things where like when you do it, you open the door for it to be done back to you. So uh, if I could
Yeah.
get past you cleanly, I wanted to put you in the mental state of do I move him after he passed me cleanly? So which
Yeah.
again, fair and game is all fair game in the full fendered stock cars, but
I'd like you to say that you're not allowed to do it.
no, yeah, no. Again, It's just something you have to be willing to do.
Yep, I know. Yep.
But
Really happy Jim let us through there. Wasn't sure, just with the S's being the way they are, knowing that if I have to follow him through the S's, I'm going to be behind him all the way to turn 7, I believe it is.
yeah, and then again, it's tough sledding getting into 7. Now he overshot 1, and I was like, "Stay wide, we're coming." I was like, "Stay out there." So, yeah, no, all the lappers did a great job letting us through.
There's Griffin there though, out of the short
Lurking.
shoes. We're entering that corner.
Yeah, down under 9 seconds back now. One of these corners I do get into, yeah, and I let you go because I didn't mean to. My wife was roasting me because she was watching on my stream, and I was talking a little shit as I was catching you, so. But I'm just hyping myself up, you know, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm coming. I hope you enjoyed your time out front." And yeah, so there's where I got into in 17. But yeah, she was roasting me for you know, "I'm coming," and then staying in second. But
yeah, I did when I was watching your stream. I'm like, yeah, you're coming. You're coming for a while there.
So,
oh man.
no.
But I totally get it. I'm the same way when I'm chasing you. But
First race my wife has watched, and I couldn't tell you how long, and I pull that stunt and get roasted for it for the next day.
yeah.
But no, she was hyping me up in chat until that happened.
Oh man.
But Griffin is lurking here. He was talking undercut the whole time, splitting it dead center, and I wasn't sure how that would work fuel wise. I was a little skeptical trying to go 23-23.
Yeah, I was skeptical about it too. I was trying to do the math on it, and it was. I think obviously it worked. I'm not sure how much saving he did on that second run, but I just felt like it was too much of a risk for me to hit a lap 23, and so I made my number 24. Um, I figured it worked out for me at Watkins Glen until I decided to wreck myself, but it worked out for me there. But so I was hoping to replicate it here, but unfortunately, just not quite able to work out for me.
Jump ahead a little bit here. Actually, I think this will be the lap. Griffin is all up on our tails here. How's it feel to have handed Griffin the win, Cameron? Holding me up.
I mean,
not letting me get run and hide.
Hey man, make the pass. No, but yeah, I didn't want to see Griffin make that run, but I thought that, especially coming out of the pits, seeing him pit on lap 23, and the way he came out of the pits, and the way we were able to kind of pull right back to him, I wasn't too worried about it because I figured that he might have to save a little bit to get to the end. Whereas I could go all out and not worry about it. But I mean, it's a I don't really know which strategy is really the right one there because I mean, we had 3 strategies there, and I mean, the only one that we didn't really get the chance to see was mine, just go me nosing it into the barrier because I would have been 2 seconds closer to, or actually, I think I came out 2 seconds behind Griffin and because of nosing it in, I think I was 8 seconds behind him after that. So that's 6 seconds closer. So I don't really know exactly how close I would have been there. And I mean, you had the lead at one point, so I mean, your strategy could have worked, and obviously Griffin's did. So I don't know which of those 3 laps was really the move there.
So I think if it plays out perfectly, I think your strategy is probably the better one because I think I had used up quite a bit of tire. I miss either 9 or 12 pretty good on my in lap. Um, but
Yeah,
Griffin having a flawless in lap and a flawless out lap
yeah,
is the
he just
difference.
yeah.
Um,
Because then we got to work harder to get by him, and he just had the tires at the end to make the move when it presented itself.
he decided middle of turn 16 to pit the lap he did. He thought you were gonna pit and split it in half, and when he saw you stay wide, he's like, "I'm in." So
Yep, and I mean, I think regardless, it's going to be close either way. I think that I mean that's 6 seconds. I think I came out 2 seconds behind you, or you came out, or it cycled around. I was 2 seconds behind you, so that's 4 seconds ahead of you. How much is that the difference? I don't know. We'll never really know, but it's interesting just to see 3 different strategies being deployed there. I felt like my strategy was good because I wouldn't have to worry on fuel. And I had a little bit of an undercut on you just with you staying out an extra lap. Um, I knew I was going to lose the lead to Griffin either way, though.
somebody, oh no, had died on pit road. I heard the
Oh
engine
no!
pop.
Wonder if he exited the car and just left the car on pit road. I don't know.
Maybe
That's something
so.
that happens sometimes.
Maybe so. I as we were coming around, I heard the engine pop, and I'm like, it's rewound pretty far. So yeah, here's your in lap. I really wanted to get to your inside and block you from pit entrance.
I knew you were. That's I saw you getting closer to me there at the second end of the lap and starting to really try to get speed and get to me, and so I purposely sped myself up to not let you get there. But even still, you got real close.
What was your fuel number at like when you hit pit road?
I think I was at point 0.1 laps to empty,
Oh, okay. So yeah, you
whatever
ran
that
it.
number is. Yeah,
You ran it dry.
yeah. And I needed to save. I was clutching into one into what's that turn after the short shoot? Is
8.
that 9, 8?
Oh, after the short shoot,
Um,
9. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, 9. So I was clutching into 9, and I was clutching, I think, into 17 as well. Pretty aggressively into all 3 of those corners. Um, and that's part of why I had such a slow, um, got such slow out of the corner.
Yeah.
Was just from trying. I gave it until I was completely out of the corner, whereas um, at every other lap I was already in the gas at that point, at least a little bit.
It's interesting. I didn't clutch. I don't think once all race.
Yeah, I was surprised you were able to get a
Oh,
whole extra lap. Yep, that's what I did. I don't know how I didn't get damaged.
it's funny. Like in testing, sometimes you'd catch that tire barrier, and it'd be like you're fine, and then you would like there your little whip on throttle, you'd catch the wall, and it'd be like, oh, you got wheel damage, and it's like, how do I not have wheel
Yeah,
damage from the tire pack? But
yep. I thought it
what?
completely gave away the race there. Uh,
But yeah, so I pit. Griffin sets fastest lap, takes the lead, and because of your nose in, I stay second by a couple seconds. Um, And I wonder, like, there's a couple instances on this lap on the cold tires that may have cost me at the end.
Yeah, but I think it's something that you just can't predict. With it being because you can't practice cold tires and a rubber down racetrack with 15 cars on the track. It's just not something you can practice. So all three of us, other than Griffin, somehow having being perfect through there, um,
Yeah,
not quite knowing exactly where we need to be on those cold tires.
a little wide in 9, very wide in 10, and then wide in 12 again. That's it, just sliding that left front, the right front, the left front. But yeah, I don't know if Griffin was saving early in this run. I know he's saving tires, he's not pushing it, but I don't know if he's saving fuel to make it to the end or not. But we catch up to him fairly quickly.
Yeah, he might have been saving, and that's kind of what I suspected is that he was saving a little bit at the beginning of this run, especially with how he set the fastest lap there for a couple laps. I thought that maybe he was saving just looking at that gap. Although he might not have been. I know that for me, I probably could have made it on 23 laps there, um, which is the only change I probably would have made is to pit on lap 23. I think that just splitting the race in half probably was the move there. But we'll talk to Griffin later, see if he had to save a whole bunch or not, see how whether or not I would change my strategy.
I think that you are in a much better spot without nosing it in. I think you're probably pretty close to him, forcing the issue. Ooh, Ed, that's tight. That's why we catch him so much. Forgot that
Yeah,
he
that's
has.
part of it, definitely.
Forgot that he goes side by side with Ed for a couple corners. Um, my thought process in going the extra lap would hope to set a decent in lap while you guys are pitting, create a little bit of gap, and have 2 lap pressure tires than Griffin at the end and a lap pressure than you, um, which I think we all know it matters. It makes a difference, but unfortunately I slid the fronts a little bit, a couple times here and there, and um, used up a little more than I needed to. I think Griffin and I had about the same percentages after this run. So jump ahead to as we continue inching in on Griffin. Get to the final 10 or so laps. I've pulled away from you. Are you saving tires or?
No, I'm just trying to run, or yeah, but I'm not really completely saving tires, but I'm just trying to run my race and not hurt my
Smooth.
tires
Yeah, keep
anymore
it
than I
smooth.
already have. Um, just kind of hoping that, much like Griffin was able to do, hoping that just saving some tires that you'll come back to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's right there is the only on track pass for the lead all race, or one of two, and he overshot it, and that's what I'm talking about. He's lucky that he didn't get wheel damage on that. Sometimes that little slide out and tag will do it.
Yeah, I did that a couple times in practice, but was somewhat surprised. I don't think I got damage. If it was something as small as that, which happened a couple times, I never got damage. Um, which is I was surprised by, given that it was just a concrete barrier, no safer barrier really at all. Um, it's an interesting wall.
Was really hoping to run and hide from from you and Griff at this point. But, you know, as I said in the open, you know, I know I have 2 wins on these things, but one of them was a last lap, last corner pass, and the other one was Jackson with a questionable pit stop strategy, and then I was running 10 fuel save laps, didn't have any pressure on me at all, and had never really been in the position of the rabbit being chased. So make a couple mistakes down the stretch and open the door back up for Griffin.
Thought I had a little bit of hope here. I'm starting to pull in a little bit, but not quite enough yet.
Yeah, Griffin and I both had some slides, and we were like, all right, lock it in, settle down. Because you were crawling back into it, and we're like, let's run a couple laps nose to tail here and step back out, and we can settle it amongst ourselves.
It's team manipulation over here.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, it's a smart thing to do. I was really hoping you guys would start getting door to door and battling each other, and so I mean that's exactly what you guys needed to do there.
But had some really bad team race manipulation at the end. But we'll get there in a few laps. Oh, wheel hop from me.
I love to see all the wheel. Every time I saw smoke come from one of your 2 cars up there, I love to see it.
Honestly surprised I was able to maintain the lead there as I blew 12 completely.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if Griffin thinks that the outside into this stadium section isn't the move. Which I mean, you tried it that first run, I think, once or twice, and I just don't think you can make the. I don't think you can make the pass on the outside without really squeezing somebody down in that section.
Yeah, and I'm noticing pretty much every time through the stadium section at this point that it's getting harder and harder to get the thing to rotate. So feels like borrowed time.
I thought you were gonna run away with it, to be honest, because um, you just had the fresher tires.
That was the plan. But, you know, I struggled a little bit into 7. We ran, again, going back to so many ways to run this track. He had a shallower exit to 7 than I did, and um, he was able to carry a little more speed off of 7. And at some point, he realizes that by the time he gets back to the throttle, I'm out of his way. and he doesn't have to lift for me, and that's when you'll notice that he starts eating me up and staying right on me on exit, and that's when he sets up the pass into 9. But there was a couple times where I would have a good exit and he would slide, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Step away now. Let's go. And then I would blow a corner. So
Griffin just slow and steady all race. Not saying he's slow, but he's just not trying to go for it all like I think me and to a lesser extent you were for the majority of the race. Not really going wide, pretty much under control the entire time. Just
yeah,
not letting those tires
we'll have to
wear
check.
out quite as much.
We'll have to check. I think he said he didn't run a lap slower than a 45. Like he didn't break a 46. So if that's the case, that's how you win. You don't have any laps where you're really held up. You don't have any laps where you really make a mistake. These tires have 2-3 seconds of fall off on them. So if he ran every lap under a 46, that's massive.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with as much as he was catching us that first run, and then just how consistent he was this second run. He probably slowed as soon as he set that fastest lap. I wouldn't doubt that he slowed down to that 44, 45 mark just to not go through his tires there. Pull it up.
There it is, right there. Shoot.
I saw Griffin get right to you, and I was really hoping he'd just move you out of the way.
That was it. The dirty move from Griffin. He bumped me out of the way. It was. Yeah, it's here because we get to Kyle. Tried to jump ahead. Yeah, I mean this is just totally classless out of Griffin. That little bump there moved me. Totally screwed me up 2 laps later when he passed me.
Yep. I mean, you were thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like, looking at Griffin's lap times now, that first run before he pit, he had 1 lap where it was a 46. Other than that, 45 or lower. Second run, 1 lap as well. So he had 2 laps the entire race that were slower than a 45 second, or slower than 46 flat.
Yeah, and I'm sure that second run, that lap is the lap he almost got into it with Ed. And we gained,
yeah, it was he had an off track that lap, so something happened there.
Yeah, where we gained that 2 seconds on him.
Surprisingly, even when he was in traffic battling Miguel and other guys at the beginning of the race, he's still running a 44 all in those entire first couple laps. And I mean, we're running, me and you, the beginning of the race there, we're running 42s, 43s, but by lap 5, we're on the same lap times as Griffin, maybe a couple times better. That allowed us to get that 12-second lead, but when we started falling off even more, he just came right back to us.
Yeah, I mean, that's just incredible consistency, and here it comes. Nope, next time, I guess. We'll jump ahead. I mean, he's just constantly there.
I take that back. He had 2 laps in the second run that were. He
46.
had 147 flat. Yep, he had 147 flat at lap 37, and then a 146.2 at lap 39. Other than that, 44s, 45s. I mean, those laps are surrounded by 44-second laps. And then his last 5 laps of the race was 45, 45, 44.7, 44.4, 45.3. So just outpacing us at the end of the runs. To compare, I mean, you're right there with them, but your last 4 or 5 were 45-1, 46-3, 44-7, 44-6, 45-2. So you're right there with him. He just had that one. Really, I think the difference is that 146 that you had on lap 43.
Yeah. No, he's super consistent, and that's what you want. Consistent and smooth. Made a heck of a move to get back by me to throw it in there into 9. And then it was, yeah, I didn't think I'd even get back to him just with how I knew my car was turning in the stadium section. So jump to the final 2 here. You had at least one off track after the short shoot into the grass there as Griffin was making the pass for the lead.
Yep, there for a couple laps. I just tried to see just push the car to the limit, and I found it. But just trying to push it as hard as I can to see if maybe I can cut into it a little bit. And just at a certain point, I just knew that I had to accept this third, or maybe get lucky and get a second, or
If we really
if you
got
guys
into it.
somehow, if you really got into it, somehow pull out the win. But at that point, not wanting to risk it too much and take myself completely out of the race, so I just backed way down.
Yeah, and Griffin and I had the same thing. Like when he got by me, I was like, all right, don't force anything here. Let's settle in. We'll make sure we get a 1-2 one way or the other. And then as you fell off from like 2, 3, 5, 8 seconds back here on this last second to last lap, I'm like, all right, set it up. Let's go try and force the issue. Try and either make Griffin make a mistake or get to the bumper and give me old bump and run. And we had talked about it during the race. He knew what to expect if that was the situation, and I knew to expect it from him too. We weren't going to make any kind of mistake to cost us the finish, but we weren't going to lay it over for each other either. We both needed this win. Griffin probably a little more than me being 13th in points, but and not having a top 10, let alone a top 5 through the four races to start this season. But we both wanted the win, but we were gonna make sure we got the GLM one too.
Yep, I knew you guys weren't gonna purposely do anything, or you weren't gonna do what you did at Sonoma last season. But not that you did anything vicious there, but you weren't even gonna risk potential taking each other out. So I was just hoping for some catastrophic accident.
Yeah, no, and like the thing again, Sonoma we had 30 seconds on third place, so as bad as that bump and run
Absolutely.
went, Jackson had a chance to get it pointed and still come across second with no threat from behind. But I'm definitely trying to throw it in here and get a good run off of 12 through the stadium section. We see smoke in the air. We're wondering where the lapper is that's having an issue. Is it going to affect us? And I had a real run at it here into 16, but Griffin, I don't know if he was like a car length or car width wider than he had been, because I was planning on being totally square on the apex there and just shoving him wide. But he was a little bit wider than I expected, and I wasn't going to wreck him, so I had to jab the brakes, and we'd settle for second.
One of the 2 times all race that you'll see Griffin go a little bit wide on exit.
Yeah. Yep. No, he was super smooth, super clean. And
Absolutely.
the first non James Jackson road course win and first GLM Aero win to Griffin Dear. waiting for everyone to finish so he can go to his burnouts. Oh, little bump from Miguel. Do we have Griffin?
Yes, we do. Whenever we're ready.
Yeah, bring him in.
And we have Griffin Dear with us, potentially.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yep, we got you.
Nice. How's it going, guys?
Not as good as you.
Yeah, it was a good race this time. Good race this time. So, yeah, no, I just wanted to say, to start off, I'm thankful we ended up going with this setup. I know we had some discussion over the setup throughout the week, so uh, I was happy. I thought this setup would kind of give us speed throughout any temperature we saw. I thought we'd be okay there. But yeah, and then it was just sort of my plan, just save all race. I was fortunate. I saw you guys go super far away at the start, and I honestly thought there's no way I would catch you guys just based on being my relative at 12, 14, 16 seconds when you guys are on the straightaway. And so yeah, but other than that, how are you guys?
That's a good point. We were wondering how much you were saving, especially that last run pitting on lap 23 and splitting the race in half. I know you were just being super smooth and keeping the tires on it, but I know you ended up 0.7 laps to the good across the checkered. So what was the fuel situation throughout the run?
So first run, I was thinking I would have been able to make it to the 24th lap, but I was at about 0.8 or 0.9 laps left of fuel, and I thought Cam would pit. And then when you didn't pit Cam, I thought, okay, I have to go now because this is kind of my only shot to get the undercut. And then I knew then that I had to go the next 23 all on fuel, but kind of looking at my average burn per lap, I knew if I wanted to make it 23, I set my number at 23.4 laps, and that would have been, I think I told you early in the week, Jams, like 0.59 gallons per lap.
Yeah.
And I looked at my average and I was running like 0.581. So I knew I'd be good at 23. So I thought, okay, everything's fine. I can try the undercut. And then the only time I really pushed the entire race was right after I pit because I tried to get the undercut. And then once I came out and I was 2 or 3 seconds ahead of you, James, I thought, okay, now I can go back and try and save a little bit, just keep James behind me for a while. Let's try and get some distance on Cam. And then yeah, it just kind of turned into that battle with you at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because like you told me you were running 0.59s on fuel burn, and I'm like, that feels high. But worked out for you. The undercut worked out for you. As Cam and I talked about during the replay of the race, it would have been interesting to see what his strategy would have done had he not nosed it into the barrier in 7. Just how close he would have been. Maybe you don't get to save like you wanted to, but yeah, no, I mean you ran a perfect smooth race. You got that undercut handled flawlessly. Ran your fastest lap of the race on your out lap, that's what you want to do. But yeah, it was a great battle with you, and I'm really offended that everyone played keep James behind them all night. I didn't like that game too much, but I obviously understand it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you guys did a great job of it. So
Yeah, well, I honestly when I got out of the pits, I expected that kind of the same thing would happen again that happened on the first run, is where you guys come out, run hard, and build a big lead on me, and then me have to kind of crawl and then fight back for it. And I kind of assumed that you guys would come out, be flying, and it would come down to me saving at the end and maybe having a chance to pass. But I didn't know that. I knew some my spotter told me something happened to you, Cam, and then I had seen in my relative that DJ passed you, and so
Yeah.
I knew something happened, and then that kind of entirely changed how I was approaching it, because then I thought, "Okay, he's gonna be back, maybe he's gonna save, and he's gonna catch me, and I'm not gonna have time then." Like, if you catch me 2 laps after I pit, I have more time to catch you than if you catch me 5 laps after I pit,
Mhm.
because I just felt like you guys were running a lot faster laps overall, or not overall, but, like, in terms of flat out pace.
Fresh. When we were fresh, we were running faster. But Cam went back and looked at your laps. You had 3 laps in the entire race that were 46 or worse. And I mean, Cameron and I, that first run when we were 12 seconds ahead of you, we probably ran 4 or 5 laps straight of 47s, just battling each other, battling lap traffic. And when you're running a 45, you click off 2 point something second laps, 2 point something seconds a lap. That'll eat into that gap pretty quickly. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the old adage, slow and steady wins the race, and not that you ran slow, but you were definitely steady and smooth, and were able to chip away and uh, get to where you wanted to be at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think I told Jim during the race, like, I was using probably 30% effort going around the track, just trying to be as smooth as possible, not trying to like slide at all. But obviously, it's next to impossible not to slide on some of those shorter or those tighter corners. But
Yeah,
I just thought if I'm just smooth and steady, and I knew I could be smooth and steady and run a 44 or a 45, and I thought if I could just do that the whole race, I think I'd be okay. And then I honestly thought it was over for me when you guys were way ahead, and I would turn on to the front stretch, and I couldn't even, and you guys had already turned past 1, and I was like, "Okay, it's over." And then slowly and slowly, I started seeing you guys, and then I saw the times, you guys running 47s, and I thought, "Okay, this is possible here." And especially, and then the moment, like, I kinda got close to you and I thought, "Okay, there's an undercut here." Then I sort of got excited about that, and then on the second run, I really wanted to, like, still try and save, but, like, not lose too much ground to you guys. And I think I did okay in that. I still could have saved a little more, in terms of tire. Like, I think I was sliding around, especially the last couple laps when I was just really nervous having you behind me, James, and I was just putting a little too much throttle into it, just sliding a little bit, and yeah, it was just I don't know, things just kind of went to plan better than I had expected. So
yeah, for sure. I was telling Cam, if I could go back and do anything different, I probably don't let him go after I nudge him in 17 the 1 lap, and maybe just try and get by him and run and hide and maintain. I think it was like an 8 second lead at that point, and I think that changes the math a little bit on the second run and down the stretch. But no, you know, I I said it leading into the race. I thought you and Miguel uh, both benefited from like the 24 hours you guys ran, and I think that showed tonight or Monday night with your steady pace and the win, and Miguel with the top 4 finally running a clean road course. I mean, he showed pace last year at the Glen, and in the off season at Mid Ohio, and then in the preseason at the Daytona Road Course in the Clash. He just needed to put a race together, and I think he did a pretty good job of that Monday night with the 4th, um, and obviously you with your pole at Daytona and your win tonight or Monday night proved that it's going to be a lot harder on the road courses this year for everybody.
yeah, I mean, definitely shout out. Thank you, Cam, for bringing me on there. This is like I I think the Daytona 24 was actually my first ever like sports car race on iRacing. So like I didn't have a ton of like road course experience. Like I think I've played like Assetto Corsa for like the last 8 years, kind of before I really got into iRacing. So it wasn't like I've done some kind of GT3 stuff but generally I would just kind of random tracks, random cars type thing. And it's only been like the last 8 months or so I've really gotten into competitive racing. So to definitely feels like I'm improving. And yeah, it's definitely encouraging to kind of see how I've improved here. And I also I wanted to shout out Richard because I know I've been talking to him all week and with his surgery going on and everything, and I just hope he recovers well and he's doing well with that. And I was actually thinking about him during the race because he had told me before the race that like this was one that he thought I was going to win, and he was like, you can really do it, like go out there. And so even when last couple laps you were ahead of me, I was just thinking about the fact that Richard had told me like this is my race, and for me to go out there and win this. So like I just want to make sure everyone knows that like he's on our minds, and we're praying for him and just best for him and waiting for him to get back.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I hadn't noticed until we started the replay that Miguel had the 25 decal that I had put out there on his quarter panel, and we had it on our C posts, all three cars. So we got a triple top 10 for Richard. Thinking about Richard, and a couple podium spots. So yeah, echoing your sentiments. Hoping everything's all good there for Richard, and hope to see him back out on track sooner rather than later. But that's
yeah,
cool. That's cool
absolutely.
that he told you it was yours to win, and was hyping you up, and then you went out and did it. So
Yeah, he said do one for the Canadians, or win one for the Canadians. So
yeah, no, he went and the North ruled the South on this night. So
yes, yes. I also want to say, Cam, I saw the Canadian flag on the car. I was looking at that. That's nice, nice. Wasn't too sure about the Chinese flag, but it's there.
Hey man, it's Epcot. They got
That's
China
true.
there, so I just did all
That-
of the countries there.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
No, but
Epcot was spelled with two C's though, ECP. But whatever. Uh,
I didn't know there was an Epcot in Canada, man. I'm gonna have to check that out.
but well, Griffin, congrats again on another win, and much needed one after the start of the season that you've had.
Yeah, my gosh, man.
But you've punched your ticket to the playoffs. So at least one GLM car in the playoffs just at this point. Um, Thoughts as we head into Charlotte? We had a heck of a battle during the holiday dash for the two of us.
Yes, Charlotte. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Charlotte. I think I've I've run well here in the past. I think the last two times I've run, I finished second, once behind you and then once behind James. Um, I think this is a place that I can save tire pretty well at. But I think it's going to come down to like late cautions. I don't think I have a ton of actual speed here over like a short run, but I think long run I can save pretty well. And if it goes tons of green flag like it did uh, the last season, then I think I'll be good. And then yeah, obviously we hope that Dakota has a nice nap before the race again.
Yeah.
So
Oh, trust me, I've
yeah,
he's planning on mopping the floor with all of us. So
Well,
I
we'll
know.
I mean,
see.
he's gonna have to. Or otherwise he's never gonna live that nap down.
Yeah. Or hopefully he wrecks you like in FNX, James.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
kidding.
yeah. No,
Just kidding.
he thinks he owes me one for that still. So, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
too
well, he took
surprised.
me out
Well,
too.
he definitely does. He owes everybody everything, and he should take you all out. I'm the only person that's a saint to him, so he's not going to do anything to me.
Oh well, if that's the case, I'm gonna have him go rewatch the Iowa FNX race on my YouTube, and he can hear some of the nice
Hey, I
things
didn't
you
do
were
anything
saying.
to him.
Some of the nice things you were
Hey,
saying about him at
hey,
that point.
hey. Oh man.
But no, looking forward to Charlotte. Uh, like you said, Griffin, if it goes green, it'll be interesting. I think we'll probably see some yellows like we did in the Holiday Dash. But no, it was a fun track with this car, and looking forward to another intermediate. And then we'll get into the All Star break after that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think this car, it seems like everybody has speed on the 1.5 miles. Like it seems like the racing is so much tighter than the next gen.
yeah,
So
for sure.
like I'm just expecting not chaos, but some tight racing, and it would be nice to survive another one. I think it's not a ton of luck so far this season, I think, but hopefully this is a step in the right direction and things can kind of turn around from here.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
yeah. No, first top 10, first top 5, and it's a dub. So, like we said, you needed it. Would have loved to punch my ticket, but if it was going to be anybody else, I'm glad it was a teammate and not Cameron, not someone else like that. But yeah, no, looking forward to Charlotte. Looking forward to the rest of the season, rest of the regular season with you guys.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, thanks for your time tonight, Griffin, and congrats again on another big win.
Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Griffin.
All right, bye.
Alrighty, now we can get into point standings. Dakota and Jared both missed Monday night's race. Jared took a big hit, 2nd to 6th.
Hmm.
Dakota can honestly nap through Charlotte and still be okay. Still be top 3 at least. But another big points night for you. Pretty much swept the bonus points.
Yep. That's why not too disappointed in everything that happened with that race. Can't really be disappointed with max points other than the win, but I'll take what I can get there. Probably the first time I've ever gotten that many bonus points in a race, so I'll take the wins when it comes, or I'll take the wins that I got in that race without the actual win.
Yeah.
Did not want to see myself in second though.
Yeah, EOL at Charlotte's going to be interesting because again, I think we are going to have some cautions and it's going to be a little bit of attrition, and you could find yourself in a bad spot off a 2 lap 1 starting in the rear. But
Yep.
playoff picture, more or less the same. A little bit of movement with people missing races and not missing races, but Griffin punches his ticket, so he gets the blue name and he's in the playoffs.
Yep.
Third driver to lock in.
Yep. Not really surprised. We were going to see him in the playoffs regardless, but season he's going in case that luck doesn't turn around. He's got this to fall back on, but I don't foresee him having a similar stretch of races as he did in the beginning parts of this season.
No, I would think he has had his fair share of the mulligans. I think he's going to be just fine moving forward. Tight for 4th through 6th there. 5 points separating you, Miguel, and myself. Starting to get a little tight at the cut line. Got 4 guys for 3 spots, all within 10 points or so.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else stand out to you about the playoff picture of the point standings?
Nothing really. It's starting to come more into focus what this playoff picture might be. Um, The only thing that really stands out, Jim's still holding strong in the top 10. Um, really showing the speed and the improvement that he's had from one year to the next.
I said it before. I think this car is going to be beneficial for him, just having to actually drive it as opposed to running 100 qualifying laps every week. So
Yep, absolutely.
we head to the bracket projection. This will be finalized after next week. Already to
Yep,
have the halfway point here.
yep. So for those of you that don't, for everybody that's not going to get a win on Charlotte, or for regardless, we're going to see this finalized, and you want to move up or down. I guess you wouldn't necessarily want to move down, but hey, I mean that's your prerogative if you want to take the race to move down in standings. But one last opportunity to set yourself in place to really get going with this bracket challenge. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping I'm not a part of it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking to win because I don't love my matchup against Kyle. He's been fast all both weeks he's been
Hmm.
in, and um, he brought home a top 5 at CotA and was 4th at Atlanta. Um, so I would either hope he has a good day and moves up the bracket a little bit, or I win and take myself out of this thing because that's a tough matchup. There's some interesting matchups in this open as it sits right now, and we'll only make some moves this next week and lock it in. But
Yep.
it'll
Hoping
be
Brody moves up in the standings a little bit more. I don't want to see him at all in this playoffs or in this challenge.
yeah. Brody's been fast. Kyle's been fast. I think Miguel Brandon would be an interesting first round matchup.
Yep,
Brody and
it's
Hunter would
gonna.
be
I mean,
for interesting.
yep. I mean, if that Miguel Brandon, I think Brandon has the speed that he could make a charge at that one, but just got to put a whole race together, which has been a struggle for him. I know so far this season. Some not his fault, some unfortunate speeding penalties and stuff like that. But that would be an interesting battle if he puts together this whole race like he knows he can.
I
Yep.
think of note, Ed Tucker is just outside of this. I think he would be 17th right now. So if he's running Charlotte, they'd probably bump in.
Yep, he should be there. I know he had a couple issues with traveling and his Discord and internet connection issues, but those should be worked out before, or they should be worked out at this point. So, expecting to see him back with us full time for the rest of the season.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Lap leaders. You took a bite out of Dakota's lap lead with your 22 laps led Monday night.
Yep,
And
yep, and I needed it. He was starting to pull away again, so
yeah,
got to keep him humble and at least be a little bit close. Although he doesn't try as hard when he's separated by a lot, so maybe I shouldn't have.
yeah. Um,
This doesn't count for points, so I don't care.
right. Yeah, Griffin doubles his total for the year, jumps from 9th to 4th. I added 9 to mine. They were the only 3 leaders at CotA, so no
Yep,
massive changes in this front.
yep, really glad that you and Griffin had that battle you had because it allowed me to comfortably get that most laps led point.
Yeah. Yep. Top 5s. You and I each got our second.
Is that updated?
Yeah, I thought so.
I would
I
I would
definitely
think that we would be tied with Dakota now.
I only have 2. I think
I should have. Let me look. You can continue and talk on it. I'm just gonna check real quick.
the hard thing with the Sim Racer Hub is it counts the clash. So I had to
Yeah.
do some manual editing. But I know you didn't get a top 10 at Daytona or Auto Club, and or top 5, and I don't think you didn't get one at Atlanta either, did you?
Oh yeah, I got 6 there.
So
So
yeah,
yes,
it is 2.
you're correct.
Phoenix and CotA.
So it should be 6. Yep, you're right. You're right. I was thinking of top 10s. All right.
Top 10s,
Yep.
yes, there you are. We are tied, the
Yep.
4 of us. Me, you, Miguel, and Dakota.
Yep.
And we
Plenty of consistency across the board, though. I mean, that's 10 guys between 4 and 3 and 4 top 10s.
yeah. And interesting enough, as we mentioned, that was Griffin's first top 10, top 5, and it's a win. So
Hmm.
ugly start to the season, but he has righted the ship completely. Now we get into the All-Star talks. I did not update the lap thing on the banner there, but it is corrected in the text. All-Star Open is everyone who has not won a PRL race. So there's only 7 of us right now. Could be an 8th if we get a new winner at Charlotte, but it'll be 3 laps of qualifying. The average lap will split into 2 heats, 2 25-lap heats. The top 3 finishers from each heat advance to the feature. And then there's a 50-lap last chance qualifier where the top 2 finishers advance. Caution laps do not count for any of the All-Star Open races.
Yep.
I don't know anything catch your eye, or you want to add to the All-Star Open notes?
The only thing I'll add is the caution laps don't count, but I will say if it becomes a wreck fest, then we'll be a little bit less heavy on the caution. We'll throw our manual cautions for that race, so that way we can keep it moving. If we get we don't want to have a 25 lap heat race and we spend a half an hour of that under caution. So we'll try to keep things moving along. We don't foresee it being that much of an issue, but just know that that's a possibility, that we end up not calling as many cautions for something like a single car spin or something like that. Um, Other than that, I don't think I have anything here. Um, two opportunities to get in, if you don't yet have a win.
And then the main, it'll be 15 cars. So if we do get a new winner next week, it'll change. We'll either do 2 from each heat, 3 from the LCQ, or we'll keep it 3 from each heat, and then just 1 LCQ to round out the 15 car field. But here's our 7 current winners: Camron Arndt, Griffin Dear, Miguel Rodriguez, Dakota, Jared, myself, and Jim. Then, as we said, 8 advanced from the Open. The race winners will have the first 7 spots on the grid. We have not determined if we're going to do a random draw for those yet, or if we'll do a qualifying for race winners. And then the open advancing drivers will line up behind them. Heat 1 on the inside row, Heat 2 outside, with the LCQ in the last 2 spots on the field.
And we'll walk you guys through that that day, exactly how that's going to go.
Yeah, we'll finalize everything completely by the time we run we have this show next week. We'll go back over it. But hopefully everything made sense there. If not, ask questions in the Discord. We'll continue to expand upon this and try and make it make as much sense and as easy to digest as possible. But we're hoping to have some fun with some different things at North Wilkesboro.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be fun. Short little race. It might still take us a little while to get through it, just with us running 4 different races, but little dash like races. So don't have to worry about saving or anything like that. Just get to the end and run a fast race.
And that is it for news and updates. So we can talk Charlotte for a minute and wrap this thing up.
Yep, Charlotte's going to be interesting. It's a fast track. We'll see. It'll be some similar tire wears to Atlanta. We'll see how. I don't know if we can take anything from Atlanta to apply it. I think they're different enough tracks that somebody might not be good at saving tires at one and be good at saving tires at the other. But we'll see. Um, Definitely looking forward to it, though. Not looking forward to starting the back though. We'll see if I can use Dakota's skill and try to follow him through up through there.
You got a good rabbit to chase back there, that's for sure. Just real quick, as I'm reading some comments, Miguel says he's not going to make the All-Star race, so that'll only be 6, potentially 7 spots from the previous winners. That'll be we'll discuss whether we want to add another qualifier to keep it 15 or if we'll just keep it 14. And then Griffin, as I have mentioned in there, no, the previous winners do not run the Open. We advance straight to the feature. Think NASCAR All Star, where the Open drivers or the All Star drivers do not run the Open. So, but yeah, Charlotte. Pole is going to be uber important at pit road. That exit is right next to the first box. You're going to gain spots or at worst case, not lose spots. Just dropping the jack and going. So hopefully Dakota doesn't get that because he doesn't need any assistance. You two coming through the field will be interesting.
Yep.
The Holiday Dash was a blast in this car. We had a couple 30 lap runs that was, I think, perfect for the 75 lap run race we did. Griffin and I, like I said, had a great battle. Ed, Steven, all very fast during that race before they had issues. But very, very much looking forward to another 1.5.
No, Griffin, you will not run the heats. Winners only run the feature. No heats, no LCQ, nothing.
So Griffin, it'll be two different sessions. We'll have PRL Open will be the first session. Previous winners, me, Dakota, Cameron, and Jim will not be in that, and Jared will not be in that. We will go straight to the second session while the Open drivers work out who's going to advance through the heats and the LCQ.
Yeah, feel free to join the other session to the winners to watch it. However, if you try to grid up or anything like that, we'll boot you out of the session. So just don't do that. Prizes, I believe.
I think it's $15.
I think so. Let me confirm that before I. Yeah, so All-Star Race winner is $15.
Griffin, if you're chipping in, then yeah, we can do that. But you're gonna have to cover the 900.
I'm covering $15.
Yeah, we're covering the 15. You can cover the rest.
Yep, that's what I'm covering.
Yeah.
So I wish I had enough that I could offer $1 million for this. Are you kidding me?
1 million PRL points, and not championship points, but you can use them in the Discord for nothing.
You can use them to send one announcement. That's it.
Yeah, you get to be an admin for a day.
You get 5 minutes. I don't trust anybody. You get 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
I've seen the damage people can do in 5 minutes. You get
True.
Not giving you a day. I don't get the opportunity to fall asleep during your admin day.
Yeah, so race picks. What do you think?
I'm giving it to Dakota to somehow drive through the field and make the win. As soon as he loses the race like that, I'll pick against him. But I'm gonna try to see if I can win one of these picks. I don't know if I ever have, so I'll go with that.
I felt led astray by my teammate. It was Auto Club all over again. He's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, so I didn't pick him. And then he goes and wins the race. So I don't trust myself to be able to hold off Griffin again like I did in the dash. I think Griffin, like we said, second in both Charlotte races in this league. He's fast on the 1.5s. If he can put together a full race, which we just saw him do, I think Griffin goes back to back. No new winner. We roll with what we've got into the All-Star break.
Yep. I mean, I can see it going either way. I think the two favorites of this race, I mean, Griffin, if you're taking historical, what's happened at this track in the past, is Griffin's the favorite there. If you're taking probably the overall best driver this season, you're taking Dakota. So I think it's between those two to work it out. Hopefully, they decide to take each other out and one of us can swoop in and take it. But we'll
Like
see.
Griffin said, F and X, man, they collected each other in our little in Griffin or in Dakota and I's spatial disagreement.
Yeah, you don't want Dakota behind you at Charlotte. He's gonna find a way to get into you.
Well, and I was gonna say, like, not discrediting Dakota's skill and talent and speed at all, but this isn't Atlanta. This isn't Auto Club. It's going to be a lot harder. It's a narrower track to come through the field. Both of those tracks are 4 or 5 lanes of available driving, and Charlotte's like 1.5. Really, when you think about it, when it's not a restart. So I think it's gonna be harder to do, and if something goes wrong in front of you guys, it's gonna be a lot harder to miss it than it is at Atlanta or Auto Club. So I think the EOL might finally bite Dakota. Not enough that he DNFs or anything crazy like that, but maybe it prevents a win finally.
Yep, we'll see. I can definitely see it happening. It's gonna be a tough track to get through the field. That's why I didn't want to take the OL for this one, but unfortunately gained just too many points. So it'll be me back there with them. It is a night race, Miguel.
You should have just let me lead. You should have just let me go at CotA. I would have won. We would have been much happier. Everybody happy. You don't get an EOL.
No. I wouldn't be happier.
But yeah. But I also like Ed in this one too, just because again he was very fast until he hammered the wall off of 4 into the dog leg in the holiday dash. So
yep, I think there's a bunch of people that have a chance to win this. I mean, just look at, I mean, just naming off rapid fire some guys that I remember. I mean, Brody's always fast. Steven Parker, he's been fast all year. Miguel's always fast at 1.5 miles. Jared's always fast at 1.5 miles as well, especially these more so cookie cutter tracks. I mean, he won Auto Club earlier this year too. So
yeah,
there's plenty of guys that could surprise us here. So I don't even. Okay, well, never mind. Miguel cannot win on Saturday or Sunday because he's not going to be there. So, still plenty of drivers that can win this one. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. Oh, one more thing before we leave, before I forget. The first Pan American GT3 Challenge race is tomorrow night. I think everybody that's tuning into this is already set up for that. But if you have anybody that you know that might be interested, that's not already in here, get them in here and we'll get them in. Should have a decent field tomorrow. Looking forward to it. An hour race at Miami. I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, no, that's it'll be fun. Sorry that Miguel is missing all these races. That's a bummer. Hope everything's all right with you, McGee. But yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it and interested for the All-Star break as well.
Yep, nice week off as temperatures start to come up at least a little bit for some of us. Might not for Griffin or some of those guys further north up into Canada, but get a little bit of time off for everybody to be able to enjoy a weekend. Not that we really take up that much, but at least I hope not. I hope you're not sacrificing your entire weekend for a 3-hour race on a Sunday night. But regardless, don't have to think about it for that week, and uh, so you're looking forward to it. And man, as much as I'm fine with an off week, at the same time, I'm like, man, I'd rather just keep racing. I finally kind of started to find my stride, but it is what it is. We'll get this week off and come back at Pocono, but still a couple more weeks of some fun racing.
Yep. Off of the bye, right into the bracket for the battle between the buys. So,
Yep.
so lots to
Yeah,
look
have
forward
another
to in the
month.
next couple weeks with the All-Star race and then the bracket following the bye week. So, lots to be determined, and it's crazy that we're already at the halfway of the regular season.
Excuse me.
Bless
Yep.
you.
It's crazy. Yeah. Um. Yep. It's crazy that we're already this far into it. Long ways to go though. Still got what, 7 more races.
Seven. Oh,
Shut up. Don't nobody say anything.
yeah, no, 7 more
Or
regular
whatever.
season races.
Yep, but
6 after
yep,
Charlotte.
long ways, long ways to go here. Um, racing into June. It's gonna have some off weeks. Um, front loaded season, not a whole lot of off weeks, and so we'll have a little bit more off weeks as we go on to kind of buffer a little bit. And so looking forward to it though. Looking forward to it. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just rambling.
Yeah, no, we gotta land this plane before the 6-7 jokes get out of hand. But no, good
Yeah,
show. Good.
about 6 or 7 seconds, you know.
All right. Well, it was a good show. It has completely gone off the rails at the end here.
Yep.
But
It's good. Yeah. Okay.
there
We
it
go.
is.
All right.
There it is.
With
It's
that,
finally.
good show. Thanks for hosting again, James. Great show. Hoping to see if we might get the CotA on here sometime. But he's been working hard. He's getting after it. So, um, just to wrap it up, thinking about Richard still. Um, looking forward to where he'll be back out on track with us.
Yeah, really hope he's able to make it back for the bracket. See if he can steal one of them playoff spots down the stretch. So, but yeah, no. Congrats one more time to Griffin, and we turn our focus to Charlotte for 134 laps, 201 miles, and set the All-Star field.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Alrighty, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Adios.